Hello, my name is Adam Wojnar. You are watching now Adam Wojnar podcast, and now we'll be talking about properties, investing in properties in the Czech Republic. Here is my guest, Max. Hello, Max.
Hello, Adam.
And we'll be talking about this property in particular. It's a 2KK flat in here in Brno, near the city center. And Max moved to the Czech Republic from Italy, and he works in IT, and he's also investing in properties. Right, Max,
right.
This is new flat. It looks good.
Exactly, yeah.
It looks good. How do you find the process of buying property in the Czech Republic? Is it easy for you as a foreigner, or is it nice and smooth with no problems at all?
Well, yeah, it depends on from which side you see it, but overall, I guess if you have a good financial broker behind you,
yes,
and if you, of course, know a bit the language,
yes,
it helps.
Yeah.
And
do you speak Czech?
Yes, I speak Czech.
You speak Czech as well,
yes.
Right? Max speaks Czech, which always really helps.
Yeah, of course, not fluently, but
okay.
I can definitely manage. This conversation.
Did you have any experience in buying properties or investing in properties in Italy?
No, nothing.
No, nothing at all. So, and when did you move to the Czech Republic?
I moved here almost 10 years ago.
Okay. And when did you make your first deal?
So I would say the first deal, it was about 7 years ago, and it was about 7-8 years ago, it was about the house where we live. So everything started there, because it was completely new process for me. Of course, I bought it with my partner.
Yes. Your partner is Czech?
Yes, she's
okay.
Czech.
Okay.
But this was really the first time I went through all the process of buying mortgages and all the things about buying a property. And it's actually from there that something started in my mind, say, okay, this looks interesting.
Yes.
And that's why a couple of years later, maybe a bit less than a couple of years later, we did with my partner our first investment.
Okay, so 10 years ago you moved to the Czech Republic, then you met your partner, and then exactly. Probably 2 years later you bought your first property.
Yes.
Okay, how easy or how stressful was it? Or what did you find the most stressful?
That's the thing, I didn't feel, I wouldn't say no stress, but that was also the thing I liked about that. Like, I was not stressed about that.
Okay, cool.
Because I saw at that time I saw that there was potential.
Yes.
So, of course, maybe the first time there are a few things you are not really aware of when you go through mortgages, how the banks communicate to you, stuff like that. But overall, after, let's say, the thing is to start, do it the first time, and then
take action and do something.
Exactly. Then after that it comes like everything is easier.
Did you speak to financial brokers? Did you speak to estate agents, or your wife talked to them?
At the beginning it was my wife that she took the first step, but then from there I was always involved in the discussion, in the finding agreement.
How Czech people speak English? How's their English, or our English?
Well, overall it's quite good, I would say.
Really?
Yes, of course.
Good.
Not everyone speaks fluently, but I guess you find always someone that is able to help.
That's really good news.
Yes.
So, and how long after your first purchase, how long did it take to buy another flat?
So it took few more years, probably about three years, but because we were looking for the right deal. Because after the first one we said, okay, it works, it's something that we like, going through all the process, furnishing it, it's okay for us, but okay, let's go forward and let's find something else.
Okay.
But it took a few years, because we wanted to find the right deal. And
Who's the thinker? Is it you or your wife who's behind the scene, you know, counting all the numbers and filling out Excel spreadsheet? Who is it? Is it you or your wife?
Oh, I would say both of us.
Both of you?
Yes. I'm more, let's say, the tech side of the couple, meaning with Excel, computer stuff.
Yes.
She works more on papers.
Yeah.
But I would say both of us are, we think the same way. We always calculate the ROI, the return on investment, on everything. We put down every single cent or corona that we are spending to make sure that the numbers.
So both of you are good in numbers. That's good.
Yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, that always helps. So your first apartment that you bought, how big was the apartment? Was it like 1 kk, 2?
It's similar to this one, so it's a 2 kk as well.
Right.
It was also a new development project.
Okay. Which part of Brno was it?
Around, if someone knows Brno, Mendlovo náměstí area.
Mendlovo náměstí.
Yeah,
okay.
that area. And yeah, it's a similar size, I would say. And we also, from that point, we also realized, okay, 2 kk is also the right size for investment. It's not too small. It's not too big. And it's probably the right compromise for
return.
For return, and also for find the right tenants then.
Right. How long did it take you to find the first tenant for your first flat?
Matter of days.
Really?
Yes, thanks to social media, honestly. Yeah.
So you did it all by yourself?
Yes, all by ourselves through social media.
So you didn't use any estate agents?
At all, nothing.
Nothing at all?
Yes.
Right. Why did you not want to use the estate agents? Because you, as an investor, you wouldn't pay them anything.
Yeah,
it would be free for you. So.
Well, at the beginning, it was more about to have the full control of who is contacting me, who I'm dealing with.
Okay.
So it was about also about learning.
Yes.
I wanted to learn things, and I just don't want to delegate to other people do it for me. Not now, not at this point at least. So as I said, I was in first person involved in the looking for tenants. I mounted the furniture in the flat by myself because I wanted to understand how things work.
Did you paint all the walls as well?
Well, in that case, no, because it was new, so it was already painted. But everything else, I did it by myself. So,
true.
As I said, I wanted to learn how things are behind. So maybe one day when I will give it to someone else or ask someone else to do it for me, at least I know what's behind them.
Yeah, it always helps.
Yeah.
And what sort of tenants do you have in your apartment? The first one. We are talking about the first apartment.
Yes, it's a foreigner couple working in IT.
So your colleagues, aren't they Italian, right?
No, they are not.
Okay. And may I ask you how much was the buying price of the first apartment? Because it was 2012, and I think that the prices were really, really low compared to today's prices.
Yeah, yes, but it was, so if I remember correctly, it was about 2.3.
2.3 million?
Yes.
And how much do you think it would be worth today?
Well, I've seen apartment for sales in the same building after a few years, and they are selling almost for 3.
Almost for 3. Today or?
Today, last year.
Okay.
I've seen something in.
Right. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad.
That was a good deal, right?
Yeah, that was a good deal.
Was there something you would do differently if you were buying that property today?
Yes, I would buy one more.
You would buy one more. So
in the same building.
Yeah. So we are sitting in another property, and Max just showed me around what he was doing. Again, he was mounting all the furniture here, just behind the cameras, and it looks really good. And Max is waiting for the new tenant. And the new tenant is supposed to move in on the 1st, which means in 2.5 weeks.
Exactly.
2 weeks time, probably.
Exactly. We still have a few things to fix and adjust in the flat, but
So it's the first tenant in this flat.
Exactly.
After massive refurbishment of the whole building, right?
Exactly.
We are on the 3rd floor of quite large building, and Max told me that the history of this building is quite interesting, and there were only 6 flats, and that means only 2 flats for each floor. And today, how many flats do you think are in this building?
Well, 48.
48 flats.
Because there was not only this part, but if you see behind,
yeah,
there was this courtyard.
Yeah.
There was only parking, or there was nothing there, but the developer also built some flats on the back side. So
right over there, when I look through the window,
originally there were no flats.
There was no building whatsoever.
No, or if there were maybe some cellars or some deposits, but there were no flats at all on that side.
And how long did it take you to find a tenant for this particular property?
It was thanks to social media. Yeah. And this time also I was also approached by some real estate agents that I gave it a try. So why not? Okay. So it's in 1 week we had at least 10 views all the flats. So and from there we find an agreement with one of them. So.
And you told them that they can move on the 1st of February. Exactly. Because you need to finish some jobs here.
Exactly.
That's great. And how much was this flat for?
This was about 2.4 million crowns.
Okay, and you took mortgage for this flat as well. Yes. Right. We did some calculations for this particular property, if I may.
Sure.
Yeah. And we have, just spare with me 2 seconds. This flat was 2.4 million crowns, and it was 80% LTV. 80% LTV, so that means that Max had to pay 20% of this price, which was almost 500,000, plus 4% taxes and some furnishing, which takes us to 160,000 Czech koruna, 160. The rent would be around 16,000 koruna, including all bills, and the mortgage is around 8,000 koruna, and the bills are around 3,000, which gives us the final figure almost 5,000 crowns per month in cash flow after paying all the bills associated with this property, which gives us more than 9% return on investment, more than 9%, which is amazing. And considering that you bought the property right now, which is the property market is like hot, it's really expensive.
Right, that's why we wanted this one, because the price was good comparing to the market.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was a good deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can tell. And how did you find this deal?
Well, that was funny, because I mean, this was a friend of mine told me, you know, I have a friend that is a developer, a property developer, is probably like selling some flats if you're interested. So he gave me the contact, I asked him, and then...
Did you have to negotiate very hard, or was it like standard price of this apartment in this building?
Yeah, I mean, negotiation nowadays doesn't really work,
no.
I would say. So, I mean, I knew from the beginning that there was not really room for negotiation. Okay. But on the other side, as I said, we put down some numbers, and I mean, I guess the price was good. So there was no really need to negotiate a lot.
No, I think that the price is really good, and return on investment over 9% after paying all the bills, and considering that it's 80% LTV is pretty good. We are almost in the city center of Brno, so which is good. So what's your next step regarding your real estate portfolio?
Well, maybe for this year I'll take a break, 2020, sorry. But I'll be looking for something else, probably starting the second half of the year, and see if there will be other opportunities. Maybe good thing I'm in touch with this developer. He told me that he's going to have other projects in the next couple of years around Brno. So probably there will be other good opportunity. So
you are in touch with this developer,
Yes.
and you will see what you can buy next year.
Yeah, if there will be a good deal.
If there is something to buy, obviously. What do you think about Czech Republic? Is it a good country to invest?
Yes, I believe it is. It's a safe country.
Yeah.
Stable country, also from the political point of view. It's one of the country that grows more in Europe in terms of GDP, and the economics is really ramping up. So I believe it's one of the best countries in Europe where to invest.
Yeah. And in the Czech Republic we had the average salary rose by 6.9% in 2019. I think it was 2019, something like that. And they're expecting to rise another 6.2% in 2020, which is amazing, because what I think is when the salaries rise and the average salary rises, that means that people can afford to pay more in rent, and they can buy more property. That means that it will push the prices of the properties up. That's what I think. Definitely not down. That's my view. What's your view about the property market here in Czech Republic? What's your views? Do you think it will stay where it is, or it will go up or down? What's your view?
Well, I'm not really an expert, but based on what I can see around, I would say it will probably still grow. Probably not at the same pace it grew so far, but it will still grow for some years at least.
Yeah,
yes, definitely.
Have you ever thought about investing back home in Italy?
I had the kind of idea, but then we realized it is not really. No. I mean, I was thinking about that. Honestly.
The ROI is not there.
ROI is not there. The taxes are much higher.
When you buy property as an investor,
and the tax property that you pay every year, for example, it's really high. It's not all about that. There are also other taxes around that makes the investment not really a good one. Well, then of course depends in big cities like Rome, Milano, when you can invest for a tourist.
Yes.
Then it's different, but also the prices are much higher.
Prices are higher.
But yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that, but I'm not there yet.
Maybe in the future, in 2021, maybe.
Maybe when I will retire. I don't know.
Okay. And because you are a very hands-on investor, that means that you like doing everything by yourself with your properties, finding tenant, fixing furniture, painting and stuff. How time-consuming it is to manage your properties? Is it time-consuming? Do you have to make phone calls every day?
No, it's not an everyday job, definitely, no.
How many hours a month or a year do you think it takes you?
Well, if we talk about preparing a flat like this one,
when everything's done,
really few hours a month.
Few hours a month.
Based on our experience we had with in the past, like especially if the flat is in good condition, there are no major issues with pipes, stuff. But that's also one thing to consider, like not to invest in very old buildings that they could have more troubles.
The maintenance would be really high.
Exactly. Even though the price would be probably lower, but you have to consider it. That's why, I mean, so far for our experience, everything is in good state. We take care of the flats a lot. We take care of the tenants, meaning we make sure they keep the flat in good condition.
How long does the tenant stay in your flat? On average, is it a year or is it 2 years? Or?
I would say it's 2 years, and in a few cases we had even more.
2 years or even more. That's good.
Yes.
And when the tenant moves out and you are looking for the new one, it takes only the flat is empty only for a couple of days, and then
it's maybe
the tenant moves in.
Maybe at most couple of weeks, but because we want maybe to adjust something in the flat, change something. We're always looking to improve the flats.
Okay, that's good.
To make it also more attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
Or because something, of course, gets old.
Yeah.
Some furniture, so that's why it probably takes maybe couple of weeks between tenants just to make some adjustment. Otherwise, as you said, it's a matter of days.
Mm-hmm. How do you know that the area is good?
Well, luckily, I mean, I live here in Brno area, so I know how it is. I know where
some people are born here and they can make the decision to buy a flat investment property, you know, and you've been here only for 10 years and you know where the area is, so which is quite funny. But no, that's good, because when I bought my apartment or houses in Manchester, I'd been there maybe 8 years, and then maybe 7 years, maybe 5 even, maybe even 5 years. Then I bought my first property in England. So I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
And maybe it really helps when you are from different country, because you see it from different perspective. Yeah. Because when you are born somewhere, that you carry the heavy history of the town and your childhood, and you mix it with the investment, which is not really good. So it might actually help you to be from different area.
That's true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. You're definitely. Yeah, I'm not really. Yeah, of course I know something, but as you said, I was not born here, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it sometimes helps.
You know, the thing is that I was also living in renting a flat when I first came here. So I changed at least maybe 2 or 3 flats when I was more. So I changed a few areas. So I had first-hand experience on that. Then I have many friends living like renting in Brno. So I also take feedback from them. Yeah. Asking.
So when you speak to your friends, you know the areas, you know how the system works and everything. Exactly. That always helps. Yeah.
And then I also look at the development project. Like the city is planning to work and improve some area of the city, the city hall. So they are like changing the tram path. Sometimes, or to reconstruct completely new part of the city. So these are things that you know in advance. There are projects, these are all public projects. So
do you look into the city council's projects, what they are planning to do before you invest somewhere?
Also, I check that one. Luckily, we are in the internet era, so everything is on the web, and it's very easy and accessible for everyone to check what's planned in the next 20 and 30 years, maybe in that area. So that helps also to judge if it's a good or a bad investment.
How long did it take you to the process of buying this property, the last one that we are sitting in now? How long did it take? Was it a matter of months or?
Overall couple of months from from when we signed the reservation with the developer. Then we went through the mortgage request through the bank, and overall about 2.5 months.
Okay. Was it all finished when you were considering buying the property? All finished and done, or
90% was
done?
Was done already. Yes.
Okay, good. I mean, it's a really nice apartment, and considering the price tag, and I'll be jealous.
We can discuss.
Could be mine. Right. I think we are finished. Or is that something we didn't mention about this property that was important to tell our viewers?
I guess we mentioned pretty much everything.
We mentioned pretty much everything.
Key things. So
yeah, cool. You're not selling it?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you for watching this podcast, this recording. If you are watching on YouTube, just click subscribe. I'll be really happy. Or if you have any comments, just write them down under this video, and Max or myself will be answering all the questions. And you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcast, or even iTunes. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you.